So in the next slide, Rajashree is going to go into much more detail into this new AV pipeline architecture.
Thanks, JP. So I wanted to share a few details about the work we're doing with the AV pipeline, which is RDK's core audio-video processing block. It's based on the open source GStreamer framework, which some of you might be familiar with. And this works on a pipelined architecture, and it helps developers construct pipelines customized pipelines for various media processing tasks. The reason we're talking about the AV pipeline in the context of a HAL and its evolution is because most of the functionalities within GStreamer, that is decrypting incoming bit streams, decoding them, dispatching them to a sync, an audio or video sync, most of this functionality is handled by the hardware chipsets that we build our devices with, and hence the need for a hardware abstraction layer and going towards standardization. The clients launching GStreamer pipelines, they'll continue to remain the same. We have native apps such as Netflix, YouTube with Cobalt, we have Miracast, AMP, we have web applications, broadcast, applications such as text-to-speech, inserting system audio, application audio. All these applications will continue to remain the same. What I will be talking about is the work that's being done within the GStreamer pipeline. So the first question is, why are we re-architecting the AV pipeline? What are some of the challenges that we are facing with it today? So to understand that, we need to look at where we are today. We work with 3 different SOC vendors, and we have 3 different implementations of the AV pipeline. And there are several differences between them. And this has led to quite a few challenges for us. The first one is it limits our ability to scale to newer SOC vendors. Today, we take a long time in understanding the interfaces that vendors have and finding the best way to integrate with RDK. And going forward, going towards a common architecture for all SOC vendors and a standardized set of HALs, we're hoping that we can reduce this time and effort. And having 3 different implementations, we have seen differing behaviors on platforms. And this has been quite a challenge for us in identifying the issues, debugging them, fixing them. Today, we don't have a common way of testing and validating the drivers released by our vendors without using the full RDK stack. And as we go towards a hardware porting kit and a vendor test suite that will allow vendors to self-test and self-certify their drivers, it is important to have a standardized interface. And today, if we want to add any changes to the GStreamer, not necessarily SOC specific, but something which is generic across all platforms, we need to wait for our vendors to adopt these changes and release their updates to us. And this adds delays in rolling out these changes to customer boxes. Today, vendors are involved with GStreamer complexities. Some of them, they need to understand it. Some of them have custom patches that they're using to get it working. And this leads to a maintenance overhead for our vendors. And since we don't have one common way of implementing the AV pipeline, we have not been able to release a comprehensive documentation suite for our vendors. And again, given the increased effort in integrating it and maintaining multiple stacks, this has only led to an increased cost of ownership for us. So to solve all these problems, we are going towards a unified AV pipeline. We started this effort mid last year, and the goal was to enhance the reliability, consistency, and scalability by moving towards a standardized interface. So this block diagram here gives a very top-level overview of what the changes are. The core GStreamer framework, the open source version which we use, will continue to remain in the middleware layers. And what we have today with RDK 6 and in the future with RDK 7, we will continue having the bespoke, customized GStreamer pipelines released by our vendors, and that will be in the vendor layer. But looking towards the future, towards RDK future, the GStreamer pipeline will move into the middleware layer, and vendors will integrate against the AV HALs that we will be releasing. This would be a vendor delivery and in the vendor layer. And as with all non-AV HALs, the AV HALs will also continue to support ADL. All right, what are some of the features of the new unified AV pipeline? So as I was talking about the standardized HALs, these will correlate to the functional blocks within GStreamer. So you can expect a decoder and a sync HAL for both audio and video. You can expect a clock HAL, which manages the clocks within the GStreamer pipeline. So we've tried to keep these interfaces generic enough so that vendors can bring in their implementations and adapt it to our HAL. We will have a generic video decoder HAL. It can be adapted to either industry standards like V4L2 or OMX or Codec 2, or vendors can bring in their own vendor native interfaces, which some of them have expressed a desire to do so. And we understand that many of our vendors have an Android presence, and they might have implementations of Codec 2, which is Android's latest codec. And to ease the integration efforts, we are open to releasing reference implementations of Codec 2 with our HAL. Then we'll continue supporting the tunneled and non-tunnel modes for both audio and video. The tunnel mode is where the decoded frames are dispatched to the display all within the vendor layer. And in the non-tunnel mode, the decoded frame handles are sent back to the GStreamer framework, and it's maintained by a video sync element before it's dispatched to the display. And this mode is also helpful for the graphics texture mode for video, which is where the decoder sends back the decoded frames as textures. And this is useful for applications such as animations and 3D graphics. So this is a long-term goal for the AV pipeline. With regards to video presentation, the change is that the video display will now be fully managed within GStreamer. In the existing current architecture, the decoded frames were being sent to Westros, which then communicated with the vendor's display drivers through libDRM. Now, Westros will no longer be a HAL. When I say now, I mean with the new architecture, Westros will no longer be a HAL. It will be a part of the window manager component, which sits outside the GStreamer. And this can be used to control the video and graphics plane geometries through a new plane control HAL. So applications will be able to control features such as the size and position of the video windows, the Z order, alpha blending, etc. And vendors who already have implementations of libDRM and libGBM will be able to integrate easily with the plane control HAL. If they don't, they can still natively implement against it. And we can provide reference implementations for this. No changes to the graphics interfaces and drivers. We will continue requiring vendors to bring in their implementations of EGL, OpenGL ES2, Vulkan, and Wayland. AV Sync will be fully handled by vendors, both in the tunneled and non-tunnel mode. There's a new AV Clock HAL, which is used to manage the clock master and also control playback speed in non-PCR modes. We will continue supporting SVP, that's secure video processing for encrypted content. With regards to the audio pipeline, vendors have managed the audio pipeline so far. And looking forward, with the new architecture, we will be releasing HALs for the audio pipeline for the first time. So you can expect an audio decoder HAL, an audio sync HAL, and this would extend to an audio mixer HAL too. The focus has been more on standardizing the HALs and not necessarily on functionality. We will continue to support the same features that we currently support with audio. So the audio decoder will support secure audio processing, audio pass-through, low latency modes. The audio sync will be pretty similar to the video sync in that it channels the non-tunnel PCM data to the mixer, and it also provides controls for mixing levels and fade controls. And the mixer, audio mixer, will be a generic HAL, which will be used both by GStreamer for mixing multiple source inputs, audio inputs, and routing them to multiple syncs. And it can also be used by the UI for setting AQ settings, or audio quality settings. So predominantly we've used Dolby MS-12 for this, but the mixer HAL is generic enough that it can be extended to any non-licensed implementations too. And with regards to the decryption pipeline, the GST SVP EXT component, which was used for allocating secure buffers, it will be replaced by a generic linear buffer manager HAL, which will extend the functionality for allocating both secure and non-secure buffers. And ADL, we will bring in some of the benefits that ADL brings with process separation using binder IPC and service discovery. With regards to the vendor test suite, we're actively working towards developing level 1 to 3 test suites for covering all the use cases of the AV pipeline, and it will be released as part of the hardware porting kit. So these are some of the major changes, a preview basically of what is to come. This is a work in progress, and the exact timelines of releasing this, we can only let you know as we get closer to the completion dates. So thank you.
Any questions? Any questions?
Hi, so I have a question about the VD decoder. How? So the decoder will be a generic that eventually vendors can implement it on top of codec 2 or V4L, right? So, but the HAL will not, it's a generic one by you guys, not designed by you guys. So, okay.
Yeah, that's correct. So yeah, it's a completely new generic HAL. So we defined an ADL definition for that. But underneath of that, you can implement it using V4L2 or any other type of platform driver.
Any further questions?
Are the vendors on board with this already? I mean, the work starts with you. You come up with the how, with the whole contract, and then the vendors need to buy in the idea and come up with the implementations.
So we have released preliminary draft versions with our vendors, and we have received valuable feedback from them. So this is an ongoing process. This is as we continue, we start to implement it and get it to a production quality level. I'm sure there'll be a few more changes, and that's when we can publicly release it to the community. Yeah.
Not all vendors will upgrade to the new HAL at the same time, we expect. Not all vendors will upgrade to the new HAL at the same time. We expect a progressive rollout.